All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to round two right here on your nation station, DBS Radio. Hoping that you guys are having a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful afternoon. Right now, we are in with the wonderful, wonderful folks from the Scots Head Reunion, and of course, a packed series of activities for Scots Head, and it is starting very, very, very soon. Very, very, very soon. I have two gentlemen in studio here joining me live on Drive Time. And of course, we're also being streamed live on the DBS Radio YouTube channel. So go to YouTube right now. Those of you listening in Dominica, all over the world, you can go to YouTube right now. We're actually streaming also on the DBS Radio Facebook page. And both of them, to get DBS Radio on the social media, it is simple. DBS Radio. Send it to your friends, send it to your family, send it to somebody who you know lives in the US, in the United Kingdom, somebody you know who lives in Scots Head. Tell them Scots Head Reunion is on. And of course, let me welcome the two gentlemen in studio here joining me, DJ Haloboy, live on your nation station DBS for Scots Head Reunion. Gentlemen, welcome to Drive Time with me, DJ Haloboy. And of course, we're talking Scots Head Reunion. Gentlemen, good afternoon. Welcome. How you guys doing?
Good afternoon.
Yes.
Good afternoon. Thank you very
much. Can you come a little bit closer to the mic? Yes. Perfect. Perfect. Now we have it. We're hearing you loud and clear now.
All right.
How you doing, man?
I'm doing great. I'm doing fine. Thanks, man.
All right. And who do we have here with us this afternoon joining?
Well, I'm Ivan Nicholas, more affectionately known as Ivo. Everyone from the community, even further afield, they refer to me as Ivo, and I gladly accept this the name.
All right. Now I have a question to ask. Do I, meeting you for the first time, have permission to also call you Ivo?
Man, you have the green light, man.
All right. So Ivo is here with us. Ivo, welcome to DBS Radio, as we are, of course, talking Scots Head Reunion. And of course, you're not alone. You have someone else, or somebody else is also here with you. Welcome, sir. Welcome. How you doing?
Good afternoon, buddies. Good to hear you. Good to see you in person. I listen to Drive Time often. I'm like, I wonder what this guy look like with his voice. So yeah, I'm Jeff Bellot. I'm the chairman of the Scots Head Reunion Committee, and we want to thank DBS for the opportunity this afternoon to let everybody know what's going on and why they should be in Scots Head, and not just this weekend, but the following weekend, and the project that we are doing for Scots Head Reunion.
All right, so it's not just I know usually reunions is just a few days, at most a week, but this is longer than the usual, you know, traditional reunions that we've seen. You guys, because you spoke about this week into this weekend, and you also said next week into the next weekend as well. So tell us what's going to be going on. What's going to be happening? Tell us, when do we start first of all?
Well, let me just say that this reunion, my friend Ivo, when we first started with this committee, he said that, you know, he told the group that, frankly speaking, he's like, guys, I want this reunion to be a model for the rest of Dominica. And he is right, and he's already about it, and the committee members, really, what we were trying to do is not just a reunion, but more like an enhancement project. And this is why we're starting this week into the whole of next week and ending the following weekend, because there are projects we want to do. You know, we just don't have what they call in Dominica like a bon temps. We want to, at the end of the reunion, we want to make sure that we accomplish something for the betterment of the people of Soufrière, Scots and Galion and Dominica. So Ivo can tell you, you know, like what inspired him to do so.
So before we continue, it's not just going to be it's going to be a reunion with a purpose.
Exactly.
All right.
Indeed.
Right. Ivo, what is making this reunion for Scots Head different than, let's say, other community reunions that we've heard about?
Well, as I told the committee from its inception, that this reunion is going to be a model of all reunions in Dominica, and we are well on our way to achieve that goal. Because, throughout Dominica, there have been reunions all over the place, and probably they may have been using the word reunion loosely, but this one has meaning. It has a purpose, like you rightly said, because first and foremost, when you look at our village of Scottshead, we have several needs, and for some reason, these needs have not been attended to. We have several things lacking in our village. And by the way, our village is, I don't want to say arguably, it is irrefutable. It is one of the most beautiful villages in Dominica. If not the most, I think Dr. Lennox Honeychurch will reconfirm that tomorrow night, that Scottshead is indeed the most beautiful village in Dominica. And as my chairman gladly invited everybody to come. But yes, first and foremost, like I was saying, among the things that we would like to see in our beautiful village, during the passage of Hurricane Maria, 7-8 years ago, the bus stop that once stood there, it was, entirely taken away. The ocean and what have you, the forces of nature completely demolished that bus stop. And our people, waiting in the rain for a bus, and all that kind of stuff, even going to people's private premises, waiting on a bus, that's unacceptable. So we try to come up with a plan. Let's start somewhere, and the first project we could really identify was constructing this bus stop. And as we speak, we left Scottshead about half an hour ago, and there's work continuing down there.
Wow.
So it's really coming, in the way we'd like it to.
So the official date of the reunion is when?
So the reunion starts tomorrow, God's willing. So we have a list of program here.
Yes.
So we opening the reunion. We launched it on Easter Sunday.
Okay.
And again, thanks to Curtis and DBS who covered that. They were in media. They did that. Kudos to DBS for that. And then the reunion activity step begins tomorrow, God's willing, Friday, June 27th. So we begin at the Caribantic, very unique area. If I've been to Scottshead, I really invite you to go DJ Haloboy. I come on, Haloboy, you got to be there to see that.
I have been to the Caribbean, but I've not been there in a while. I tell you.
And you know the beauty there. You're between two oceans.
Yes.
And it couldn't be as fresh as it could be. And then we're gonna be having opening with songs of praise, and we're gonna have the choir there. We're gonna have some songs of praise. We're gonna open in prayer, and then we're gonna also have some live entertainment. We're gonna have a cultural performance by a provincial cultural group, also from a Sophia group, and also there we're gonna be having Dr. Lennox Honeychurch giving a history of the area in Scottsdale, how we get its name, and so on and so forth. So that begins tomorrow night. And then on Saturday, we're going to be going up to Galion to do a bel marché to visit the folks in Galion, so you can get your exercise in one. So later, you can have, some extra beverages. You won't feel guilty, right? Because you just had a great hike.
No, I won't. No, I won't. Definitely won't.
Yeah.
And then after that, we're going to be having Sakis Lapo Kabwit. So this is why this reunion is different. We're going to have Carnival in June. We are really focusing on our culture and using the Lapo Kabwit band to, as our theme says, connecting the past with the present to build a better future. So what we're trying to bring back is the days of Scottsdale used to have its own Lapo Kabwit. So we bring Sakis Lapo Kabwit to make people realize how powerful it is, how we can make music with our own selves, and like the jump up on the street, and this is gonna be great for that Saturday night. So Dominica is invited, and guess what? It's a free event.
Yeah, and even before having Sakis Lapo Kabwit, after we've completed the walk to Galion, we're gonna have some who ticket street cricket. Back in the days, in Scottsdale we do not have a cricket field. All our cricket was played in Soufriere. Soufriere was once the mecca of cricket. Even though there was high-profile cricket being played in Roseau, Soufriere would be the place everybody wants to come to. And I'm telling you, I had my days there, and we had some great matches between Soufriere and rivals versus conquerors. We once had the Sovereign Cricket League taking place in Soufriere.
Okay.
There were people like Gustav Williams and Madesh and and all these big names, and during those days, man, cricket was cricket, man. You played cricket, for not just because the love of the game, but there was endless passion in this thing, man. And it is so sad to see that right now. I mean, Sufre Scott said there is very little or no cricket at all, and one of the presentations we were hoping to make during this reunion, we have already identified a youngster in the village who has great prospects, and we've decided we're gonna get him the full cricket gear. His helmet, his bat, his pads, his protectors, and all that kind of stuff. We want to reintroduce cricket to this community because, I mean, a lot of us, we've made, the training camp for the national youth team. I was part of the under 19 training camp in 1979, and I think we were supposed to go to St. Vincent, and Hurricane David struck. Wow. So cricket has always been part of us in the South, and for some reason it is dead. And it is so sad, man. It is so sad. So we're trying our best to reintroduce the sport. That's why we're having a Who Take It cricket game on the streets,
on the streets
of Scottsdale.
Right.
That's gonna be fun.
Yes.
And the good thing about this is we're gonna have people who haven't been to Scottsdale in a long time. And one other person who's gonna be around is one of Dominica's former national cricket captain, Mr. Packett, who's also gonna be there. He's just gonna receive an award. And so one of the things the Union Committee want to do is see if we can restart a cricket youth team to work with the village council, to work with the different groups in the area, member of parliament, everybody, to bring everybody to one roof and to show the sign of unity for this reunion, that together what we can achieve, together what we can build as a community. And I believe this reunion will have that impact, and this is why I believe it's different.
All right. And then on Sunday, Sunday begins what it looks like a very, very, very packed week. Take us through the week for the next let's say 2.5 minutes. What's going to be happening from Sunday? Of course, Sunday, the Feast of St. Peter's, big celebration. I know that's always a very, very, very massive thing. Take us from Sunday into next Sunday, because it's going to be Sunday to Sunday, non-stop of activities. What's going to be happening for the week?
It's going to be intense.
So as we said, tomorrow's the opening. Saturday we have the Lapo Cowboy. Come to that. Sunday the big village festival. We're gonna have the church service, the traditional blessing of the boats, and all of that. And then we're gonna have the first serenade band. I think there's also is going to be ecstasy band and DJs. So that's gonna be a fun day, fish time. And then the Monday, what we're gonna be doing the Monday, we're gonna try to get people focused on trying to do the finishing touches on the bus stop, so we can cut that ribbon on the following Saturday. And the Tuesday, big thing. So if you listen to us right now, please register with Uncle Mike, Lyndon Bar, with Celia, the village council, to go to the Kalinago territory. We want to bring back, and one other thing we are doing actually is going to the Kalinago territory, to visit the Kalinago territory, to learn the culture and to give back to that community. So it's only $80 from Scottsdale to the Kalinago territory, and that's on Tuesday. Wednesday is going to be a fun night. It's going to be Big Money Bingo, where we have bingos on the street. We're going to have a domino competition. So the Tuesday begins the domino knockout. The Wednesday is the domino finals, and then we have the domino bingo on the street. Thursday, big talent night in Scottsdale by the Caribbean area. And what we're going to be doing there, we're going to have live performances and also special guests. Comedian Franklin Moses will bring the curtain down. So that's going to be a massive night on Thursday.
That's a big night right there.
It's a big night, big night, and we only
because you mentioned a very, very, very big celebrity. It's but listen, I grew up watching Franklin Moses on it was Mapping TV. Yes. And he did a number of recorded shows. I can't remember the name of the show, and I even went to a few of his comedy shows as a little boy growing up. And let me tell you, if you bring back Franklin Moses, believe me, yes.
Well, Franklin and I, also Wadix and all these guys, we went to SMA around the same time, and from that time, I've always envisioned Franklin to being very funny, and he is indeed funny. He makes people laugh, and he's legendary. This guy is iconic, and it was just quite fitting to pick him to give us some great laughter on that particular day. I myself, I have my jokes and I have a list of jokes, you know. So I think Franklin will have some competition that night.
Good competition, of course. Good competition, of course.
Yeah. And that night too, we also be having a bonfire, kind of like what we would do back in the day, play green games around the fire. So invite people to come to that. Drinks will be from our sponsor Kubuli, will be drinks all weekend long at a special price, thanks to them, like Kubuli, DBS, Jungle Bay, who has made this reunion possible. And then the Friday is a big dinner and dance, Friday, July 4th. It's only $100. It's a fundraising to help build like a public convenience and other projects in Scottshead. So $100, you get 4 or 5 course meal. You got a local beverage. You also gonna have a big dance, a big ball. So that's happening at the Sufria Guest House, 7 p.m. That's next Friday. And then the Saturday is the return of the massive, as Frank Moses said, Kone Konla, big time Kone Konla with a big band, the Midnight Groovers. And we'll just be making a small donation at the entrance again to help enhance the community. So Midnight Groovers on July 5th in Scottshead, and on Sunday, July 6th is the award ceremony. We're gonna be giving award ceremony for those who make similar contribution. People like Adina Detuj, Mutsinle, John Wiss, who's from the area, national cricketer in Hazel Packet, the man himself, Tempo, best corner guy in Dominica, we believe, and also we'll be having some other people, Miss Martin, teacher Martin, Miss Martin, great teacher, Rosamond, was 97 years old, by the way. I'm going to be receiving an award, and after that, again, we have live cultural performances by the Point Michel Cultural Group, Al Massif from Soufriere. And actually, there's another person who said that they might be making the best if they happen to be an island, who's one of our local celebrities who will perform at a big show in Canada, US, that might, if he's on island, might be able to be there. So it's going to be a big night, and then we have the cutting of the ribbon to open the bus stop for the people of Scotland. So big things happening.
So it's like you say, it's like how you all said, it's definitely a reunion, not the usual reunion, because
it's a model of a reunion.
Because it starts off with a historical perspective of the community, Scottshead.
Very important.
And you starting back from from where Scottshead started, how it came about, and then even before the reunion, you always saying that all now you guys left Scottshead. And because you said the official date is tomorrow, the official start is tomorrow.
Yes.
But even before that, there is something happening in terms of the construction of a bus stop, which, of course, like you all said, hopefully before Sunday, it will be ready for Sunday for the big cutting of the ribbon for the presentation to the community. So definitely, it's a reunion with a difference. I just want to ask before we wrap up. Why take that particular route? Because people, when they hear reunion, they say, boy, long I do come home, and boy, it'll give me an excuse to come home, and I can take it like a little vacation. But this is not the typical reunion themes or the pattern that we know reunion takes. Why specifically you all have decided to choose that particular path for Scottshead reunion?
Well, if I can go first and say, one of the things is that, as the theme said, connecting the past with the present for a brighter future. We want to connect the young people to what things were before, to now, and for the future. Now when there's no electricity, a lot of young people don't know what to do. We want to make them realize that there's something they can do when there's no electricity. We can play games, we can play ring games, we can do things like that. And most importantly, we want people to realize, in the things we did in the 80s and 90s, we can do it again, like self-help. Give something to your community. We don't have to depend on government to do everything for us. Yes, they can take to a big infrastructure and so on. But what about us? If I'm from Scottshead, what am I giving back to Scottshead? If I love Scottshead, what am I giving back? And this is why we take this approach, because we want everyone to be responsible and held up accountable. If a school is built, they stone it, they don't care. But if you walk in the bus stop, you build the drain, you fix the pipe, That is your sweat. So you're not gonna let anyone mess with that. So that's the approach, and that's why we believe this reunion is to bring this enhancement project to there, but also a time for families and friends to reunite and to have a good time, and then take it from there. What else can we do for Scott said?
Ivo?
Indeed, yes. And like I said, when this idea was conceptualized, it's like we had a focus already. This was already in its planning stage. We just needed to put a team together, and we brought this team together. I must commend my chairman. This gentleman, I'm telling you, I mean, he's a workhorse. I'm telling you, and this guy doesn't sleep. You know, in the middle of the night, you know, we get a text, we get an email or something, you know, and we were able to put a team together. We have those on the ground in Scottsdale and those overseas. Like Jeff, you know, he's in Wisconsin. My nephew, Michael, affectionately known as Junie, he's in Atlanta. We have Irvin Labadie, the Englishman. He's based in London. And I'm in St. Thomas.
And Miss Blow in England
and
as
Miss
well.
Blow is in England.
Wow.
So we put this team together. Half of us are overseas, the other half is on the ground, you know, and we would have our meetings via Zoom. You know, I mean, the logistics was kind of a little bit complicated because, I mean, to undertake a massive project like this, you know, you need, you know, cohesion, you know, and, you know, so we would have our meetings every Wednesdays, you know, via Zoom, you know, and every day we are working diligently to ensure that this thing comes to fruition, you know, and here we are today. But like you rightly said, this is not any ordinary reunion. We have a purpose and we remain focused. And our focus is to do something for Scott said. My favorite band is Third World, and I listen to that song from them. Give a little something. I want you to play that for us after this program. Give a little something. So that's what we are all doing. Giving a little something back to Scottsdale. If we have achieved anything throughout our lives while living overseas or even back in Scottsdale, it's all because of Scottsdale. You know, all studied in Scottsdale. And like I said, we're doing all what we can to give a little something. Why don't you give a little something? Love will find the way. Give a little something, and we are appealing to all our diaspora brothers and sisters to give a little something, and a lot will be achieved.
All right, gentlemen, thank you for joining us live on DBS Radio, the nation station. You know, thank you for choosing DBS. In fact, we're live on all radio frequencies, the 2 television channels on Flow and DG. We're also live on dbcradio.net. We're also live on YouTube. We're also live on Facebook. So later on, if you want to send this interview to your friends and family, you can go to YouTube and just tell them to just go to the DBS page. You can send the link to them. They can watch it. They can, you know, share it to know that Scott said reunion is on. Tomorrow will be day 1, but the work has already started. Like you said, with the construction of the bus stop, and you know, to give back, like you say, give a little something for what Scott said has done.
Yes, indeed.
So gentlemen, thank you very much for coming through. Any final quick words? 30 seconds from you, Ivo. 30 seconds from you, Mr. Bellot.
Well, thanks for having us here today. It was indeed a great pleasure. I really enjoyed your hospitality, and that's what Scott said is all about, you know, displaying our hospitality. And I'd just like to shout out all our fans and supporters out there. Keep on doing what you're doing and keep on giving a little something, man.
Well, thanks for having us again. I'm so glad I get to see you in person with that great radio voice. And we're asking people to come to Scottsdale this weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, but also Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday next week. Thank you, DBS, and definitely that's why it's called the Nation Station, because you can't miss this interview. Anywhere you go, we're there. Thank you guys for having us, and God bless you guys.
Thank you very much. So, Scott's Head reunion is on, ladies and gentlemen. It has started. The official day is tomorrow. It's going to be a packed few days of activities from tomorrow into the weekend, all through next week, into next weekend. Something you definitely do not want to miss. Make sure you do not miss it, people. Just make sure, all right?
Why miss a moment when there is DBS?